This is the Nomadic Traveler Podcast.
Don't unbuckle your pants when you're driving. It's tempting if you're a fat guy like me on a long car ride, loosen up a little bit, right?
Welcome to the Nomadic Traveler Podcast. I am your host, Jason.
And Nicole.
And we're going to bring you an episode with Nicole's brother.
Yes. So my brother Ben is here today. And he's going to talk about his journey, joining the RV community and potentially full-timing down the road and what that looks like. So we're excited.
Does Ben have a camper yet?
No, not yet, but it's coming.
So he's in the hunt?
Yeah, he's in the hunt like us.
Searching for one?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're always in the hunt, aren't we?
We're just going to stay in the hunt, I think.
All right. Well, we'll get our show going.
Yeah. All right, guys. Welcome to the podcast.
Whoop, whoop.
So we have Ben here.
Hello.
And his wife, Katie.
Hi.
All right. Welcome to the podcast.
Yeah. So today we're just going to kind of ask you guys some questions about your journey with traveling. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
Good.
So,
Okay.
so Ben, do you guys have a camper now?
We currently do not. That's a big no.
So you've never gone it's always been tent camping before this, or?
Exactly, yep. Tent camping. Primarily, we do backpacking and then also camping with my family. My mom is, they say packs everything but the kitchen sink, and I think she actually brings the sink.
Yes. Yeah.
Nice.
It's glamping.
Yeah, it's the two extremes that we've had.
Yes. And maybe that's what has turned me on to RVs. 'Cause
Exactly, yeah.
You don't have to bring everything.
RVs are very much glamping.
Yeah, but you're not packing it all up every time.
No, it's in there.
Yeah.
That's the best part.
I'm all right with that.
Yeah.
So what type of RV are you guys looking for in the future?
Well, we would, personally, I want a big old converted schoolie.
Schoolie, nice.
Oh, okay.
We're fans of
Not in
schoolies.
not in the cars now, though.
Yeah.
So we're starting at the other end of the spectrum, probably with a pop-up. So we're looking for something decent but cheap that we can fix up to be our own, make it our own.
That sounds awesome.
We have some schoolie people that we hope to have on the podcast in the future. So
Yeah.
They got a very cool converted bus.
We actually looked into it ourselves for a little while, but
It's expensive and time consuming.
yes, but awesome.
I have a friend who is converting a school bus, so
Okay,
just thought of that.
we'd like to meet him or her.
Maybe they can come on the show.
Yeah. What kind of sparked your interest in what made you think I think I want to maybe convert a school bus one day?
Funny thing is, I actually recently just took a look at myself and I thought, I don't even know this person anymore. Because I always used to say I would never own an RV. I thought it was the dumbest thing. I was like, if you're going to go camping, just go camping. And then, I don't know. That pretty much changed with your idea of full-timing.
Mm-hmm. A friend of mine got me into the idea of full-timing because she had been wanting to do it for forever, and I had never even really heard of it. Honestly.
Yeah.
Until about a year ago, and then we up and went to Myrtle Beach just on a whim last February.
Nice.
And the whole time we're dreaming, let's sell our house, let's get out, let's go. But of course, reality, that's not going to happen. So, for
It's
the
a tough
past year,
transition.
we've really been thinking about how can we do this? When can we do this? And so ever since that trip to Myrtle Beach where we just up and got out of town, it's been that.
Yeah, so for about a year now,
Yeah.
you guys have been I love those trips where you just randomly decide, hey, today we're going to Chicago, or hey, today we're going here.
Yep.
Those seem to be the funnest, huh?
Unless the place you go in turns out to suck. That's what happened to us yesterday, but.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Spontaneity's fun until you go somewhere that's not cool.
Yeah. Or open.
Or
Done that
Or
before.
open, yeah, that's always bad.
I remember
too.
once I drove to Cincinnati to go to the it was Louisville Slugger Museum. One day weren't open.
And it was closed.
Yep, that was great.
That's a bummer.
Good times. Yeah.
That's when you plan ahead.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Did you bring your card with you?
Yeah, I did bring my card that time.
Good, good,
So claps for me. We had money.
That's much better.
We ate food. Woo!
Hat full of nachos.
No, not that day, but I wish. So like what are the challenges that you guys face like getting to this point, other than like obviously finances? It takes a while to get there. What challenge would you say that you face that others might be facing out there too? Because I feel like when I look at all these pages, there's a lot of people on there saying, how do I get started? Or I'm ready to get started. Or even me, I'm in that area too. I'm ready to get started too, and I'm having trouble. So what would you guys say that you guys face?
Yeah, number one challenge is money. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think that's everybody's. No shame.
That's always the biggest.
I don't know. I've seen lots of people that are just like buying these, $80,000 campers and going for it. But,
Yeah.
I'm not jealous. Whatever. I would say probably another thing where we've worked on to some extent has been downsizing.
Okay.
Trying to get rid of just not having too much stuff.
Yes.
And then also one challenge that we've thought about a lot is pets. So we have
okay.
2 dogs and 2 cats, and an indestructible goldfish.
That thing just won't die.
It won't. We've had it for like,
8 years.
8 years.
Oh, what?
Yeah, it was like a 50-cent goldfish. We've had it for 8 years. It
Put
just
that
won't
thing
die.
on eBay.
I know, right? The other ones all died off. That one won't die.
He ate the other ones.
So he's coming. If we go, he's coming.
Gonna build him a little compartment.
No, they can last like 2 weeks without food. So we'll just get somebody to go in every 2 weeks
And feed him.
the fish.
Yeah. So like a lot of like downsizing as far as stuff and
But also like with cats, like
yeah.
trying to figure out how to transport cats.
Yeah, because if they get out, like how are they gonna
Yeah.
come back? Yeah.
People do some seriously creative things with cats in
Yeah.
campers.
Oh yeah.
Did you see the people that had the hatch that went down in their front compartment? And then they would open the door and they could go out in like a little walkway outside. And they could walk around. It was like all caged in.
Yeah.
It was really neat.
That's awesome.
Lover.
Yeah.
Her cat likes to run out the door when we come and go, so she can go out on the concrete and roll around and then get up and eat grass. So I don't know.
She
Just
may
put some
be a
fake grass.
challenge if we travel with her.
Yeah.
As long as she stays close to the camper, you might be okay.
Yeah. Maybe get her a leash.
Oh,
Try to
good
start leash
idea.
training her.
Yeah. Do you remember that time I put Chance on a leash?
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
rough.
It was like dragging a sack of flour that was yelling at me the whole time.
It's like,
You could tether it outside like a dog.
yeah,
That's
there
what I
you
did
go.
with Charlie. I just tether him outside. Tie him to the camper. Hope he doesn't drag it away.
That dog
He is
might.
pretty strong. Yeah, so it sounds like just a few things that are kind of in your way. What research have you guys like done any research towards? I know you said you've looked up some school bus things and
Oh my god. Research. Yeah, we've been doing research for about a year.
All the things.
all the things. Yeah.
Researching campers, towing capacity,
Okay.
ideas, jobs.
Have you found any good ones?
Well,
Working on it.
That's
I
always a
teach
tough
English online, so my job is remote.
Okay.
So I teach English on the computer and also on my phone, so I could use data and not have to worry about Wi-Fi with the one company that uses my phone. So that is transportable.
That is awesome.
That's a good start.
Yeah.
So the
So-
thinning down and having a job that goes on the road, that's a good start.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just joined a Facebook group with, I teach for 3 different companies teaching English to kids in China. And I just joined a Facebook group with ESL teachers and who are also RVers. So
Nice.
more research.
Okay. Yeah.
I've been perusing that group like a mad woman.
And you have experience teaching, right? Like you have your degree in teaching, and
Yeah.
so you kind of have that down. That's cool. Yeah. I don't know that I'd be good
The
at
one
that.
company though, you only need a Tesla, which is was it
Teaching English to speakers of other languages.
Oh, okay, like a certification.
Yeah, it's not,
Okay.
not
Yeah.
a degree, so.
Yeah. So listeners out there that might be good in English.
Yep, it's
that might
called
be
Palfish. Check
Palfish.
it out.
Okay.
Palfish?
Palfish.
P-O-W?
P-A-L.
P-A-L.
Pal. Yeah.
Pal fish.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good little tidbit.
Yeah.
I like that.
And it's on your phone, and you can even there's one on where you can just have people call.
Yep,
It's the same company.
There's Free Talk, where you can talk to people from all around the world. They just call you, and they just want to have a conversation in English. And there's also the Official Kids course, where you have to interview with a demo, and then you can teach kids in English. So the Free Talk is usually with adults, and then the kids course is with kids about 4 to 12.
Oh, wow.
So
Very nice. That's
really
cool.
great company.
I didn't know
That's
about that.
Yeah. That's
Really
awesome.
good to take on the road.
Yes.
That's a good one.
So, and I just in January quit my job.
Woo!
So, which was-
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I'm ready to do that. No.
yeah, it's I mean, it was 50 hours a week or so, and not even like I didn't even it was a good job, but like I had Wednesdays and Sundays off, so I didn't even have like 2 days off in a row.
Okay.
So really not flexible.
That's never fun.
Not travelable.
So what are you doing now?
I'm currently tutoring, so I have a couple in-person students and then a few online students, which
Nice.
once I get the whole app figured out, there's actually a way I can do the online sessions on my phone. So
That's awesome.
So you're trying to expand the online side?
yeah, yeah.
Well, you guys are doing things right then. You guys are working the system.
We're working
We're
on
trying.
Getting there, yeah.
I'm also trying to find some remote bookkeeping and or proofreading work. So
Would you say that you've had any like negative feedback? So when you tell people like, "Hey, I just quit my job," or "Hey, I'm teaching online because we want to do this and we want to go on the road," have you had anybody be like, "You're crazy"?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you had a lot of that. Or, like, how do you feel? How do you deal with that?
What are they
Like,
saying to you?
Yeah.
I actually haven't. I don't think I've really told many people. So
Okay,
but,
so now they know.
Well, when you quit your job, we
Oh.
didn't really like express that the goal was ultimately to do these things,
Okay.
like RVing and
Yeah.
everything. It was more like, we just had a baby, and if you can hear him, he's hiccuping right now. But we just had a baby. We have 3 kids total. We homeschool. That's the other thing is we homeschool,
Yeah.
so we can take that on the road, which
That's
is awesome.
perfect. Yes.
So
Another good step.
that was a big part of why he quit his job, but the big picture is that we want to do this part-time, eventually maybe full-time RV thing. But when he quit his job just out of the blue, people were like, "What are you doing? Like, why would you ever?"
Did he tell you?
So no, it was
she
actually
told
my
me.
idea.
She told me.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
My
he
idea.
listened.
Yeah.
But no, it
so-
was a. I
Good
mean,
boy.
it was a union job. I had
Yeah.
401k and health insurance and paid vacations and all that stuff. So I mean, it was like it's a solid, stable, good paying job that I just up and quit.
So you didn't want to like work
So-
the rest of your life to like maybe have fun at the end for a couple
Yeah,
years.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
Sounds
wanted
better.
our dream life as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I would definitely agree with that.
Did you tell them about 4-Hour Work Week? And
I haven't.
And the mini retirements?
I haven't. No.
I've heard lots of people talk about that book.
Yes.
I have not read it, but I
Yeah.
have heard lots of discussion of it.
It's a good one for sure.
Yeah. Jason had me listen to it, and I listened to it. And I was just like, where have I been my whole life? Because it just you're just taught that's what you do. Like you graduate college and you get a job and you pay off your student loans for the rest of your life, and then you might retire for a year or two, and then you die.
You die. Very
So-
conventional, old school
And then
thinking.
you die.
And then you die. That's actually at the end of every story, but
What is it?
maybe. Yeah, so That book's really good. I would suggest it to any listeners out there that maybe are in that limbo spot and need that little pump to get there.
For sure.
Because it gets you there, it gets you
Yeah.
thinking. How will this like kind of fit with your family? Like, what will the dynamics change in your family when you are maybe part-timing or full-timing eventually?
I don't know, I think the dynamic is already changing.
Okay.
I mean, it's been a big shift from me being gone all the time to being home most of the time.
Okay.
So I think if we did it abruptly, like that would be the biggest shift. So it's been, I mean, and that's already going on. It's been really great just getting to spend time with the kids. And this little baby here, we got into a habit of, Katie teaches English in the morning. She does her classes in the morning. So I get up with him and we go sit down in the front room, and he usually sleeps on my chest after he has his morning bottle.
Aww.
So, it's been, I didn't have a chance to really do that with the other two.
Yeah.
So it's
So
been...
Yeah.
Yeah, we and that was the whole idea with full-timing or even part-timing. We may have a job, we may get a job outside the home that is 2 to 3 days a week, and then maybe travel over an extended weekend. But we just want to spend time with our family, especially while the kids are young. Like, our oldest is 10, and we want to be with all of us for as much time as possible, and really create experiences for the kids.
Okay.
So that's the idea of traveling, getting the kids out. And even just right now, we go on day trips and go hiking, go to historical sites, just all those things. Is just creating experiences for the kids and spending time together. So that was the idea.
More family time is definitely the big thing about full-timing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's what I like about it, at least.
Yeah, and I think it's something that's kind of not even been thought of as an option before. We're just told that like this is the life we live and these are the times we see our kids, and it's kind of like, to me it feels like taking control of your life. Like, I want to control my involvement with my child, and I'm going to dictate that, not a mortgage loan or the debt that I have.
Right.
That it feels more powerful almost, and
Well,
that's what I like about it.
Well, and, pre-industrial revolution, your workspace primarily was your home. Like, you either had a shop in your house or you had a farm.
Okay.
It was, like, the work-life balance was such that, like, you were around your family most of the time. And it's only been, since we all started working in factories and, being judged on production, that it's sort of flipped into this mode of working all the time so that you can hopefully spend some time with your family at some point.
You can buy a house.
Yeah.
So you can buy a house so you can,
So you can do what we say.
all the things so you can, so you can spend more money so that, so you can feel more capitalism.
Well, that's something that someone brought up the other day. They were like, it's interesting because we, as Americans, pride ourselves on saying we're busy. And I was like, that's so true.
Yeah.
To say, man, I just worked so hard, and I went to school, and I go to, and when I do say those things, sometimes I do feel prideful, and then I'm like, that's kind of gross. Why am I excited that I have no time for myself? That sounds terrible,
It's a real snowball effect, too. So you start getting a bigger house, and then a better car, and then you got to work harder, and then you get it, and now I need this, and now you got to work harder, and
That's so true,
it
yeah.
just grows and grows and grows, and then you're like, why am I working so hard?
Uh-huh. And then especially with how much our kids are into technology now. Now I gotta buy my kid an iPhone. Now I gotta buy my kid a tablet, and then you're spending more and more money and wasting more and more of your time, right?
Yep,
I love
agree.
that. So if that money was not a factor at all, there's no money factor, what type of like RV or camper would you get? Would you want like Mac Daddy, motorhome, or a fifth wheel, or a travel trailer? What would you?
Schoolie.
Yeah, for my money, I'm going schoolie.
Okay.
If money is no factor, I'm having somebody else do the work.
Yes.
with creating my own, I would like to create my own floor plan. I just like the idea of the flexibility of it, starting with a clean slate, and also the idea of reusing something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's recycling this perfectly good machine that, rather than taking materials and creating something new, you can create your dream RV from something that already exists.
That's hard.
People get schooly and they drive them around forever too, man. The diesel engines are excellent.
Oh yeah.
And the guy that we want to have on the show, he said that he can take his apart in the bus. Like, you don't actually have to remove the engine. He said you can basically rebuild the whole engine in place in the bus.
Oh wow.
So I think you can pull the cowl off.
There's usually then we just pull it up, access it even from inside the bus.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So you don't even have to get under the hood. You just...
So he said it's actually fairly inexpensive to rebuild the engine. He said it's really not that bad. So they'll literally run forever.
That's amazing. I did not know that.
And you can also, I've seen people that add a deck on top.
Yeah. I like the rooftop deck.
Adding even living space on top, which seems a little crazy for me. But you could, you get some big tires. You can go to more off-road places.
Yeah.
Solar panel. There's so much you can do with it too.
Yeah.
I would love to get a big schoolie. I want the rooftop deck personally. maybe a one we could flip out, instead of having it on there all the time, and solar panels all over. Because I want to just be out in boondock.
Yeah.
All over the place.
Yeah. That sounds wonderful.
Who wants to always have to plug into shore power?
Yeah. What about you?
Oh, me? A motorhome.
Yeah, you like that.
Class C.
Okay.
Yeah, especially because Ellie wanted to have the bunk.
She likes the cab
above.
over bunk.
Yes.
Okay.
She was
We could
all
build
big
one of those
about
into a
that.
school bus.
Yeah, well, I could consider a schoolie. I could, I consider anything.
Would you want to drive it?
No. I don't think I could drive something that big.
No.
I would.
See, I have
be
the
really
desire.
Anxious.
You just got to make wide turns. Just swing it wide.
That's what I did.
Yeah, you got
I know
it.
you.
I
do
can
it.
show you how to do it, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, we'll see.
I'll show you. I'll teach you, baby.
I've seen the meme that true love is staying together after you've backed in the RV.
Yeah, I saw that the other day too.
Yes, I think someone said that at the RV show that we went to.
Yeah,
and I was like, why?
Yeah, Nicole's like, why is it bad?
I'm like, you just do it.
You'll see.
Yeah, you just do it. That's good instructions.
Obviously,
Just
I'm a
back it
newbie. I mean, I have a little baby car. I know how to back that up.
No, you don't.
Hey. Yeah, that's awesome. So you said that you guys mainly backpack. That's kind of what your thing is. What's your favorite place to go backpacking, would you say?
So far, Virginia Highlands.
Okay.
The southwest corner of Virginia, where close to North Carolina, Tennessee border. There's the Appalachian Trail. Or
Okay.
Appalachian, depending on how you want to say it. I usually say Appalachian, and Katie says Appalachian. I don't know really.
I've always said Appalachian too, but I don't know if I'm right or not.
I used to until I met this guy from Boone, North Carolina, and he said it's Appalachian. You better get it right.
Oh.
So I always say Appalachian because it's more fun anyway. But it's just there's just amazing mountaintop balds. I remember that was where my first backpacking trip was, in this area, and we hiked up at night and got to this cabin after dark, and couldn't see anything. And then the next morning we walked it was about a mile and a half, pretty much straight up, and I was just about dead because I did not train at all. But we got up into this. I can't remember the name of it. But we just entered onto this bald, and you could just look out and just see mountains everywhere. And it's the mountains were just blue and hazy in the sky, and it was amazing.
One of the coolest things about the Virginia Highlands, especially this state park called Grayson Highlands, is there are wild ponies.
Very cool.
Oh.
And they are so much fun to watch.
I like that.
Except for I got bit by one on our honeymoon.
Because he was being stupid.
You got bit by a pony?
I got bit by a pony.
That's a
How'd you get
funny
bit by a
story.
pony?
How
Yeah,
have I
we
not
need to
heard
dive
this?
into that for sure. How'd you get bit by a
Did I
pony?
get bit by a pony? I went
You were
back to
messing
get
with
no.
it?
I went back to get something. We were like by the ponies, and I set something down. I don't remember what it was, but I had to go back to get it, and that's when he bit me. He bit me on the leg.
On the leg.
I know, right?
Did
Well,
y'all blood?
The ponies
No.
are pretty.
Just stay away.
Well, and they maintain the balls like the balls, so like they eat
Okay.
the vegetation.
They eat all the vegetation. Yeah, gotcha.
So they're
That's
also
awesome.
and there's just also giant boulders too, which is, I love climbing on boulders.
Nice.
So
Oh, that's awesome.
fun.
It's a beautiful area.
Ben
Yeah.
got bit by a pony.
And didn't you guys meet backpacking?
We
did.
sure did.
Okay. Tell
That
us
was
a little-
also in Virginia.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, our trip, it was there's the baby.
Hi.
We went, half the trip we served in a homeless shelter in Roanoke, Virginia, and the second half of the trip we went backpacking on the AT near McAfee Knob, which is this huge cliff. Don't fall. It's like 1,000-foot drop.
Is that where you
It's the
fell
most
in love?
most photographed place on the AT.
It
Also,
is, yeah.
okay.
That's where you fell in love?
Wow, that was.
Yeah, that was.
I got dad jokes and that was bad.
That was summer of 2003. We met on this backpacking trip.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Very
So we
nice.
keep that up. Keep up the backpacking tradition with the kids, and yep.
That's awesome. What would you say is like the funniest? What's the funniest thing that's ever happened to you guys? Maybe it was getting bit by a pony. I don't know. That's happened to you guys like traveling. Could be any type of traveling, backpacking, or just out there doing your thing. You have I hear that there's a lot of stories in
I
there.
don't know if we want
Yeah.
to share some of them.
I mean, I could talk about canoeing. 'Cause there's I don't even heard this story.
What happened canoeing?
So when the one time we got Nicole backpacking,
It was awful.
It was
I wanted a
awful.
helicopter to come and get me because I thought I was
Aw.
dying.
she did. Well, she thought she was dying, not that she actually died. So we did a backpacking part, and then we did a canoeing part, and it was a long day. Nicole was with a friend of hers in the canoe, and they'd start talking and forget to paddle. So they were falling behind. So then they made them split up, and she got in the boat with one of the leaders.
Made them split up. I love
Yeah.
I don't like to talk. What do you mean?
And so she's in the boat, in the front of the boat, and this guy Bill, who's probably I don't know how old he is, but he was one of the adult leaders, is in the back, and just going. For some reason, they got off to the side, and there was a tree hanging down, and they're just going, and Nicole just ducks like you do, but forgot the part where you're supposed to say branch or
tree.
duck or hey, look out. Tree hits Bill in the face, and he flopped around, and she turned around to look at him, flopped it the other way, and they flipped over.
Our whole canoe. Oh gosh. My shoes. I remember that's what I was mad about. My shoes. My shoes were gone. They floated down the river.
Yeah, if you fall out of a canoe, everything floats away.
Yeah, our whole backpacks.
You got to be on it and grab that stuff right away. If you don't, it's gone.
Well, luckily we were in the back.
Well, and we had canoe bags, which are pretty great. You ever seen those? They're like
The ones you roll up.
yeah, they're like this
Yeah,
tall.
yeah,
You
yeah.
roll
I
them
know
up,
what you
and then
mean. Yeah.
we clip them on the handle of the canoe.
So did you find it or no?
My shoes?
No, your bag.
Yeah,
The
we
bag
ended
was
up.
clipped to the canoe. Her
Yeah.
Oh,
shoes.
gotcha. The
Yeah.
shoes are gone.
They were just gone. I had taken them off my feet because it was hot and sweaty, and I was getting burnt. I remember that crispy, like a crispy fry.
I did have a big red stripe across my thighs
Oh,
from
yeah.
sitting in the canoe because my shorts are kind of riding out
Yeah.
into this part where it never sees any sun
And I remember him just being so angry, like
because you hit him in the face with a tree.
he's like, you could have told me, and I'm just like, I thought you were looking ahead. That's where we were going. I thought you saw me duck. So, yeah, that was a pretty pretty good experience. And I remember he gave me, for my graduation, he gave me a paddle. A canoe paddle. And he signed it. And he said something about, like, I hope no trees hit you in life or something like that.
Nice. I
A
like
giant canoe paddle. I
That's
do
good.
remember that.
That's on brand for Bill.
That's good.
Yeah. It was good times.
We had a canoeing trip one time, and we had a girl that was kind of like that. She just could not keep the boat upright. So she was just constantly falling out. And finally, she's like in the middle of the river, like throwing a fit. And she's like, I want somebody to come get me. I'm like, this is a river, girl. Like, people don't come get you. I'm like, well, you got to finish. This is one of those things in life where you just got to finish. She's like, I'm going to walk to the road. I'm like, no, we're in the middle of nowhere. I'm like, there is no walking to the road. You're going to have to get in the boat and keep it upright.
Yeah, there's no boat police that just come by and
I thought
save
that was
you.
so funny. She's like, I want somebody to come get me. I'm like, that's not how this works.
Well, I don't like how that turned on to my funny story, but that's cool.
You could probably come up with some more if you wanted to.
No, that's cool. Well, speaking of like all those bags and everything, the paddles, what would you say is like your favorite like travel accessory or the thing that you have that you just love to use when you're out?
Honestly, I would say my backpack. I had a backpack that was given to me by Tom, which like kind of fell apart, and so I went online to try to buy a new like actual backpack. And the kind of like are hard to come by. Mm-hmm. I like an external frame, which is like the part. It's like the old style that has the metal frame coming out the top and the bottom.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Do you
All
have a
the
particular
packs,
brand?
not really, because I mean I just kind of got to take what I get.
Yeah.
All the packs that I find nowadays that they make now, mostly they make the internal frame, which are just I like the external frame because it gives me a space to strap stuff on.
Gotcha.
And then also I can lean it up against a tree better.
Yeah.
And you sit on, it makes a better seat.
Does it feel like more stable?
Yeah, and also I don't know. I just like the way they fit better. That's the only kind I've really ever used. I've tried it internal frame, never really liked it. But I found this pack 13 years ago or so, because when I was still living on Pennsylvania. I bought it online for like $25. I'm like, this is gonna be the worst pack ever, and I've had it ever since.
For
You still
13
use the
years?
same pack?
Yep.
Nice.
And both kids, Micah and Ellie, are both, you know, it was what I used to carry them on the trail. Now Micah's outgrown it and I'm getting it ready for Silas. So yeah, I just throw whatever I want to in it and go. So
That's
that's
awesome.
my favorite thing to travel with.
What's the longest hike you've ever done?
The longest day I've ever done was about probably 13 miles.
Jeez.
That was on my first trip. I think that week, I want to say we did 43 or so miles that trip.
Oh wow.
It was a long trip. It was a lot.
43 miles over how many days?
No,
2? 3?
It was 4 days, I think.
4 days.
So that might not be right, but I remember it was a lot.
Yeah.
Averaging a little over 10 a day. That's pretty good.
It was intense, but
Wow.
also fun.
That's awesome. Katie, do you have a favorite like travel item that you like?
My phone.
Nice.
Well,
Yes.
I don't know. I like. I have a lot of like hiking apps, like All Trails app.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It's saved us a few times when we have had service because you can see where you are on the trail.
Nice.
Oh.
And there was one time we had to really book it to get off a trail really quickly, and I'm like, oh, we are actually pretty close to the end, and we got to a fork in the trail, and we almost went the wrong way, and the app saved us, and we went the right way.
Oh, that's awesome.
By looking at the map and where we were on the actual trail. It's All Trails is like Google Maps for hiking, so
Nice.
when you have service, it's a really good app to use. And there's a free version, and then you can also upgrade, which I use the free version because of course, but it's a good
Yeah.
it's a really good app to use, and you can pretty much find trails all over the world, I think.
Does that have anything to do with all stays? Have you ever heard of that?
I don't know.
All Stays is like a campground app.
Oh.
They've got all the different campgrounds and stuff on there, and it'll show you like different places you can get LP. It'll show you all the different gas stations. It's really neat too.
Huh.
That's awesome.
I have to check that out. I've looked at the Campendium app.
I haven't seen that one.
That's another one where it's campgrounds and they have reviews and pictures and all the same, like, they have a thing where they can post the cell service and
Nice.
Oh.
all that kind of
Really
stuff, and how
important.
much they paid for it and all that stuff.
Is
So
it like Expedia for campgrounds?
you can't book through it. It's just
Okay.
for finding
Oh, okay.
campgrounds.
Yeah, I don't think you can book through All Stays either.
That would be cool.
I know a lot of ESL teachers use it to figure out if the cell service is good there, or the
Oh, before they go there to
yeah,
like.
so they can make sure that they can teach. At
That
a
would be good to
certain-
know for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
so it's got-
awesome.
tells you what kind of hookups it's got, cell service, if it's big rig friendly,
Oh,
and then
that's
reviews and
awesome.
stuff like that.
What's that one called again?
It's Campendium.
Campendium.
Very cool.
Very nice. A lot of
awesome.
good nuggets in this show.
Yeah.
Oh, also the Road Trippers app.
I do have that one.
Road
I
Trippers
do.
is fun because you can just find random things to do.
Mhm. Doesn't that one also tell you like where to get gas and like?
You can do gas, yeah, but you can also find in hotels and bars and all this stuff along your route. And
Very nice.
there's one that's like interesting things and stuff.
Do you have like a favorite camping spot locally that you would recommend or that you guys just love going to?
I don't know that we have one. We have one that we go to often, which would be Brown County. That's where, because we go there every October for Mom's birthday.
Yes.
That's our big glamping event of the year.
We generally
state
get
park?
the same site
Yeah,
too.
she books the same sites.
Right next to
Nice.
the
Yeah.
bathroom.
Yes, right next to the bathroom, which, for me, not prime real estate.
I agree.
But, for people with small legs,
Small legs. Yes.
and by small I mean short legs, just to clarify, short.
Yeah.
Not like spindly legs.
Yeah.
There's a S&H campground. I've actually never camped there, but it's still around. It's out near Greenfield, Indiana, and my mom grew up camping there.
Okay.
Her parents had a pop up, or as my mom insists, it's a fold out.
Yeah.
She insists it's fold out, not pop up.
Not a pop.
Apparently hers didn't pop up, it folded out. Huh?
Yes, so she grew up camping there, tent camping and with the fold out, and I've always wanted to go there, and she's got some stories, so that's apparently a pretty good, highly recommended campground.
It's called S&H.
S&H.
Okay.
Yeah, it's it's on County Road 100 in Greenfield.
Okay. Trying to think of where that is. I think I
Family-
know.
21st
family
Street
owned.
turns into 100.
Family owned campground.
Nice.
Good memories.
Very
her.
cool. Very cool. So, what do you guys think is kind of like the next step in your journey? I know that you guys have already tried to find alternative work, and you've done a lot of research, a year's worth of research. What's your next step in your journey?
Probably buying a pop-up.
Yeah,
And-
we're fairly close, maybe just 2 or 3 months away.
Just gotta find the right one.
Okay.
Yeah, we've really been looking into, and I mean we've been messaging people like,
We almost got
Into-
scammed.
yeah, we sure
Oh.
did.
Uh-oh. Tell us about that.
Yeah, what's up with
Smart.
that?
Somebody on Facebook Marketplace posted was it a VW Rialta? Which is it's like a Class C, and they're super cool. And I was like, and I like weird, ugly.
Oh, I think I know what
Vehicles.
you're talking about. Yeah.
And so it's just just awkward enough for me. I'm like, this is really cool.
It's fit your personality.
And they're right. By the way, if we could arrange it, I would pull the pop up with a VW Westphalia, the camper vans that they
Yeah,
have.
those are cool.
But I messaged her about it. She was asking $2,500 for it, and it's could be $20,000. I mean, they're really expensive because I mean VW's whole value and.
Sure.
So I messaged her about it, and she was just talking about how let's say like her husband died and she's had to move back with her sister and
It was a sob
Yeah.
story.
and she
And
just
then-
didn't get rid of it because of bad memories and yeah.
And then it ended up where she wanted us to pay through Amazon services or something like that. And
She's like they only accept Amazon gift cards, so you can go to the store and buy gift cards. I'm like, I'm gonna go buy $2,500 worth of gift cards.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Red
so-
flag. Red flag.
And
Yeah.
so I messaged her. I was like, so I just wanted to look at it, and there's a way that I can look at it. She's like, well, no, it's already sealed up with Amazon at their facility, ready to ship to you. And so I was like, so I told her, I was like, hey, I have a buddy, a college buddy of mine, who's a cop out there by you in the next town over. What can you send me the address so I can go send him to go look at it? I just want to, no need, money back guarantee, all
Oh,
this stuff.
yeah.
Money bag guarantee.
You sneaky snake.
Yeah, so I was like, okay.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, so, but you guys are getting closer to finding one, or?
yeah, avoiding scammers, yes, we are.
So we've been slowly setting the bar lower.
I love it.
Yeah.
There's an old Mad TV skit called Lowered Expectation about a dating service called Lowered Expectations. Yeah, that's our RV story. But
You should be able to find a pop-up halfway affordable if that's what you guys want
Yeah.
to start with. I mean, that's the good place to start because you
Yeah.
can get one reasonable.
Yeah.
I got one for $800. That was my first one. That was my step up from tent camping. I went from tent camping to a pop-up, and it was about $800.
Wow.
And then I sold it for like $1,200 actually. So I think I actually made money on it. So I used it for like a season or two, and then I actually made money on it, and I upgraded.
Hey! That's awesome.
so yeah, that'd be nice to do.
Yeah. So just find him one of that.
That's the nice thing about finding stuff cheap, though, is usually you can get your money back out of it, or maybe only lose $100 or $200 or something. So, because once it gets down to being so cheap, I mean, unless you destroy it, it's hard to beat the value out of it.
Right,
Yeah.
as long as it's still rolling.
That station
got
wagon,
wheels.
my first car, my station wagon, I paid $500 for it. Drove the crap out of it for 2 years. We drove it to Virginia and back, and then and then the shocks went out. I still sold it for $200.
Yeah. See?
Oldie but goodie.
So yeah, we're looking. So we've been lowering our expectations and
Sure.
lowering our budget
like
as we go, but we're hoping to find something that is decent and that we can work on,
Yeah.
fix it up. I was just saying that, so, the good thing about a pop-up is like there's not much that's like hidden, like in a car,
No,
the
yeah.
electrical system goes to the firewall and
Yeah.
then there's fuses here and there and all this stuff, and it's just like there. So
Yeah. So you're saying it would be easier to fix, maybe?
yeah,
Because it's all right out there.
and I
Yeah.
can probably do a lot of it, or learn to do a lot of it with YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that that like starting low or starting high and going lower. I think we're kind of doing the other end. Starting low and getting higher. And it's a little trickier, maybe.
For
Maybe
sure.
You should
Maybe
just
that's
stay
a
low. Just go low, man.
Just go low.
Oh, ball it.
Low ball.
Okay. So what do you guys have any advice or like any tips on people who are kind of out there in that limbo? Because it seems like you guys have made a lot more steps maybe than I was aware of. So you guys have kind of come out of the limbo and gotten those steps down. What about somebody who's out there who's just like, like I know this is the life I want, but can I do it? Or kind of in that like hesitation mode. What would you say to them?
Oh no, we're still in the limbo.
Well,
Daily.
I mean, life's a limbo.
Yeah, but honestly, I would say if this is the life you want, take steps toward it, because the closer you get to living your life the way that you want to live it, the better your life's going to be. So small steps, even it looks like a big thing. I mean, when she first brought up the idea of full timing, I was like freaking out. I'm like, we cannot do this. This is ridiculous. Nobody does this. What's going on?
Yeah.
And but started looking at the steps involved, and it's like these things make sense. Like downsizing, helpful, right?
Sure.
Finding a job that's more flexible, and that allows for more family time. Love it. It's the small steps, and then eventually, if you can get to that big step.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be my advice.
I like that. Do you have any?
Well, along with this, taking the steps is doing your research.
Yeah.
Like, you can't take any step at all if you don't know what you're doing. And,
Got to watch out for analysis paralysis, though.
Yeah.
I can see that, yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah, don't read the comments.
We made that mistake.
Yeah.
Actually, last night.
Check your sources. Find a good blog, find a good podcast like this one. People know who are taking those steps, people who know what they're doing, people who've been there, maybe people who don't know what they're doing too well but are taking the steps themselves. So do your research and keep on moving forward.
Yeah.
Also, I would recommend Instagram and YouTube for
Yes.
inspiration.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
I found, like, anytime you start to question whether this is something doable or, like, if it's worth it. I mean, I follow a bunch of people on Instagram that are full-time in various modes of RVing, and it's just like you open up and they're like, oh, we're over here in the Badlands, or just all these amazing things, and there's that initial spike of jealousy, and then it's like, okay, this is where I want to be.
Yeah.
So
That's a good idea.
They got this story that they always tell on Bigger Pockets that I like, and it's they call it like vacuum the truck. So they got this guy, and he's talking about, I have a truck, and it has a loan from the bank, and I don't know how to sell a truck that has a loan on it, but I know how to vacuum a truck. So I'm going to vacuum the truck. And then I don't know how to sell a truck with a loan on it, but I know how to take pictures. So I'm going to take pictures of the truck. And then it's like, I don't know how to sell a truck with a loan on it, but I know how to place an ad on Craigslist. So I'm going to place the ad on Craigslist. And then I don't know how to sell this truck that has a loan on it, but I got a call from a guy and he wants to come look at it. And I guess I can let him go test drive it. So I'm going to let him test drive the truck. And then it kind of goes through like all the different steps until he eventually finds a guy that's willing to put a deposit down on it. And then he finds a way to pay off the truck. The guy comes and pays the truck off, and then he gets the truck off his payment, and then he doesn't have to deal with making the payments every month anymore. So it's about just taking those little incremental tiny steps. So it's like the whole goal might seem crazy overwhelming, but if you break it down into these small little bite-sized chunks,
Yeah.
it's not so unbearable.
That's so true.
Yeah.
I love that. That's a good visual too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
one of my
awesome.
favorite
Vacuum the
stories they
trunk.
have.
I like to do that. I like to vacuum. I'm real good at that.
I can vacuum.
I love that. And that's just like building confidence too. I think that's something that I think
Yeah.
about too.
You build
Like,
confidence on every little step, every little chunk you take off.
And you build confidence in yourself, and then you see the goal get smaller, piece
Yeah.
by piece.
Yeah, yeah.
Because it takes a lot of confidence to go against the American dream. Like,
Yeah.
to do something different than every American out there. So, you guys got it.
Yeah, for sure.
So, I love it. Yeah,
All
that's awesome. I have a last question for you, though. Who's your favorite sister?
Do you remember Sister Catherine from St. Philip?
Sister Catherine, love it.
By that, you mean me. I love it.
I didn't hear Nicole. I didn't hear Nicole anyway. Did you hear that?
It was in his eyes. Did you see it?
Oh,
You had to look.
I didn't hear that.
It was in his heart, too.
It's amazing when people say things and then you hear something else.
It's interpretation.
It's
Yeah. It's a special skill I learned at school.
Good.
It's called seeing what you want.
From
Power of
Sister
positivity.
I think
It's
you learned
hilarious.
something.
All right.
That's awesome.
Well, thanks for coming on the show, bud.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Anytime.
Good
Both
job,
of you
guys.
guys. All right. Up next, we got our Epic 5 coming up. And the Epic 5 is going to be going to both you guys. We're going to do both?
Yeah.
Both of you guys?
Sure.
All right. We're going to do a combo Epic 5. All right. So, first question is going to be, where is your favorite place in the U.S.?
Well, we kind of already went with that with Grayson Highlands, Virginia. Specifically, there's a town named Damascus
Damascus.
It's known as the friendliest town on the Appalachian Trail.
Nice.
Trail
the
Town, USA.
Yeah, the trail goes literally right down Main Street.
Nice.
And, and
There's a
we've gone
bike
there.
trail that goes through there too, the Virginia Creeper.
It's a rails to trails. That goes. It's real cool. Goes there.
Rails to trails?
Yeah, like the Monon.
Oh.
It used to be a railroad, and then they pulled up the railroad and put in
Turned into a trail.
Yeah,
Nice.
rail to trail.
Very
Good
cool.
to know. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
All right, number 2 is a tough one. If you could only go one place for the rest of your life, where would that be? I know, man.
Yeah. I don't know.
Let's see.
It's hard. There's lots of places on our bucket list to go, but I don't know that any of those would be qualified as the one place to go for the rest of my life.
I know it's hard to pick something that you've never been to. Like, well, I could pick this, and then I go there, and, oh, this isn't quite what I thought it was.
Let's go to Ireland.
Ireland?
Because if I never go to Ireland in my life, it's going to be a sad life.
But do you want to be there for the rest of your life?
I mean, it's green. And there's beer.
I would have. I don't know. There's green and beer, but not green beer. That's not a thing in Ireland.
How do you know? You've never been there.
Because I was told by a reverend.
Okay.
You know, as a woman of the cloth, you know, I gotta take that.
Do you have a place?
I don't know. I would have to go with maybe something in a more southern hemisphere area. You know, our equatorial, someplace, I don't know, South America or someplace where there's mountains and green and also beer and warm.
Warm
that
climate
way, you
while
know,
you're around.
I'm so tired of winter right now. If I go to a place that never has winter,
I know, right?
I'd be okay.
I picked Key West for mine, so.
I'm going to go ahead and say, though, that was the wrong answer. The right answer is anywhere with my wife.
Yeah, he's in South America. I'm over in Ireland.
Although
And
I
she's
like
not
being
stressed about it. I mean, she's like, whatever.
YOLO.
Yeah, we've never done this with two people, so now they got different locations, and they're pretty far apart.
I mean, I love where you picked, but
Okay. What's your favorite mode of travel?
I mean, I love a good road trip.
Agree.
That would probably be my favorite mode of travel. We wanted to go on a big train ride because trains are fun. Turns out it's 52-hour trip to go to Yosemite.
Yeah.
Because that was going to be our 10th anniversary trip, was to go to Yosemite on the train. Yeah, 52 hours and ridiculously expensive. So
I don't know how they stay in business, quite honestly, because it's very expensive for
I know it's going to be like
a very long trip.
it's going to be like $400 for us to get not even to get a bed. You know,
Just
just
a
That's just
stand
like a
up.
seat the whole time,
just
yeah.
see for 52 hours.
You
So
can like lean on each other and grow your
Yeah.
relationship.
sure.
Grow your relationship. That's
Or
awesome.
destroy it. I don't know. I snore, so
One or the other, right?
I would have to go with a car or you know, RV personally. Yeah, I would have to go with that.
I really enjoy road trips as well, so.
Just
I
get to
concur.
see so much more.
Yeah, that's what I say, yeah.
I do rather like our minivan. We like to go
Yes.
for drives just to
Just to
get
go for a
out of the
drive.
house.
Yeah.
We do. We go to the McDonald's drive-through, get some drinks, and go for a drive.
Yeah.
Sponsor, not sponsored.
Sponsor, not sponsor. Nice.
I was gonna say, also with road trips, I love the gas station stops. When everybody gets out, you're just so happy to be at a gas station. It's like when you're a kid and you see Bubbles, and you're like, oh, Bubbles. You know, you're just like, I want to get out. I want to see life. I want to get some Slim Jims.
That's kind of why I like truck stops, because you just see people all the time, like they're like getting out of the car, like they've never gotten out of a vehicle before. They're like, oh my gosh, it's so great to be out of the car.
Yes,
Plus, truck stops have the most random stuff
Yeah.
ever.
they
I mean,
do.
I don't even know.
Yeah, $9.97 for a bottle of ketchup or something like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
I used to go.
Stuff.
I used to go to this one at the
Pilot?
Flying J
Flying
up
J.
at like exit 95.
Yeah.
You stopped there every road trip because they had like, you know, like pigs in a blanket. You know, it's a hot
Yeah,
dog wrapped
yeah.
in only it was like a sausage. Like, I mean, like it was literally this big, just wrapped up in a
Nice.
croissant. It was amazing.
Nice.
And they don't have anymore. But I used to make sure I stopped there every road trip. I'm like, yeah, we don't need gas yet. We'll get it there because I'm getting one of these things.
That's generally where I get all my fuel because I'm close to there. So they're usually pretty competitive on the fuel prices.
Good times.
All right. What is your best travel tip?
Food. Because
Love food.
people get hangry.
Yeah.
In our family, it tends to be emotional. Certain members of our family who are in the double-digit range.
The adults.
I wasn't talking about adults. Get very.
He's getting emotional.
Yeah, he's getting,
Emotional.
So certain members of our family get very weepy and distraught when they're hungry. This one we call him the 0 to 100 baby because he'll just be absolutely fine and then turn on a dime and he's starving like he's never had food in his life. So planning for food is a very important part.
Same.
Yeah.
Totally
Have
agree.
those snacks.
Yes.
Yes, snacks, cooler food, gas station stops, anything you can do to keep people from getting emotional.
Travel
Yes.
tip is must have food.
Yes.
All right. Last question is, what do you get from travel and how does travel recharge you?
Well, for me, I would say travel means encountering new experiences. And every time I experience something new, it helps me to see the world in a new way. So when I come back into the day-to-day, whatever that may look like, it helps me to see things in a different light and appreciate my day-to-day life in a better way.
It gives you a different perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
I love that.
All right. We're going to come up with the Don't Do That segment next. All right. Now it's time for our favorite segment, Don't Do That. Today's Don't Do That is brought to you by Ben. What you got, Ben?
All right. So this is a small little tip here. Don't unbuckle your pants when you're driving. It's tempting if you're a fat guy like me on a long car ride, loosen up a little bit, right? I recommend, wearing something with a stretch top so you don't have that problem.
Especially all that gas station food.
Yeah, well, see, so what had
chili cheese
what had
dogs?
happened was we on a long car ride, and I got out and walked into the McDonald's, got food, came all the way back, realized that my jeans were undone and my belt was hanging out the whole time I was in McDonald's.
Yes.
I thought you were going to say your pants fell down, so that's what I was waiting for.
Luckily, the pants did not fall down. I don't know how that happened, but
I bet you made a lot of friends at McDonald's. Sponsor, not
So-
sponsor.
yeah. So we decided we can never go back to the McDonald's in Pennington Gap.
Yep, Pennington Gap, Virginia. Don't go there.
We had to
We've been banned.
memorize the town so we don't repeat the mistake.
So you don't ever go back there again.
It's one thing to walk around with your pants undone one time at a place, but if you do it twice, then you're just going to be the guy that walks around with his pants undone.
They frown on that a little bit, huh?
Yeah.
But also, what if you get pulled over and your pants are just, you gotta be like,
That's what I was thinking. I thought it was going to be some kind of police interaction or something.
You know what? This is also true. That's a good reason.
don't probably ever do that either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, don't go to that McDonald's in what was that place where we got
Bicknell.
Bicknell, yeah.
Bicknell, Indiana. They will siphon your gas while you're getting a soda.
Wow, that's rough.
I know, half a tank of gas gone.
Oh my gosh.
That was good times.
So McDonald's sponsor, not sponsor.
Sponsor, not sponsor. Don't get your gas siphoned.
I don't think they're going to be your sponsor.
Not after that, right?
So don't do that.
That's today's Don't Do That. All right, we're setting some first today. We had our first guest today, which, woohoo!
Yay!
And then we're also having on our youngest guest. So, how old are you?
I'm 10.
You're 10? And what's your name?
Ellie.
Ellie. Ellie is 10, so she's going to be our youngest guest so far.
Yay!
So, have your parents talked to you about full-timing in a camper?
Yeah, a little.
What do you think about it?
I'm really excited about it. I think it'll be really fun.
Do you do much camping now?
Huh?
Do you do much camping now?
Well,
A little bit?
not as much camping, but traveling a lot.
Yeah. Where's your favorite place to go? Do you have a favorite place?
South Carolina, Myrtle Beach.
Nice. That's a good spot. I like that. Do you like the warm weather, or what's your favorite part?
Yeah, the warm weather. We normally go, in the beginning of the year, like in February, when it's all muddy and gross, just to go to the beach and recover from that.
That's awesome.
Is the water at the beach warm then, or is it still cold?
Still cold.
It's still pretty cold.
But the hotel we went to had good pools, so we went swimming there.
So the pool's heated?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Nice.
What do you think that you're gonna like the most about full timing with your family?
Seeing all new places and meeting people and having more family time too.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's always important. I agree.
That's wonderful.
You got anything else?
Is there anything you think that you're gonna like miss from being home, like when you are full timing? Is there anything you're gonna miss back?
Well, I'm kind of gonna miss having people living around us, but in an RV there's literally
Just your family?
everyone's pretty much living around us because we're living in an RV. But like family and friends and
You can meet your neighbors when you go camping. Your neighbors are usually pretty nice.
And also maybe I'd get car sick, but whatever.
Yeah, you never know. That might be a thing. You'll probably miss like your favorite aunt. Maybe.
Do
Do
you think
you have one of those?
Do you think I miss Nicole?
I miss family around me.
Nice.
Just family in general.
Okay, yeah. That's okay. I like it. That's
All
awesome.
right. Well, thanks for coming on. All right, guys. So if anybody wants to reach out with you and they need any, like, say, mobile bookkeeping, or they're looking for tutoring or anything, is there a way that people can contact you?
Yeah. I would say my Instagram is bapotter99. Also, my Gmail is bapotter99 at
Okay.
gmail.com. So both those are good ways to hit me up. And Ellie often features on my Instagram. So
Nice.
she doesn't often know that she features on my Instagram, but
So we'll see more of Ellie.
mm-hmm.
Do you have one?
Yeah, for me, I have a blog. It's storybookancestor.org.
Okay.
It's about family history for kids. I talk a lot about genealogy, history, children's literature on the blog. And I'm also setting up a website about teaching online ESL, and that is not up yet, but there will be a link on storybookancestor.org to that blog as soon as it is live.
Perfect.
So,
Thanks,
that's
guys.
me.
Yeah, we
All
really
right.
appreciate having you on today.
Thank you.
Been fun.
All right. And now it's time for today's Hidden Gem.
Hey, today's hidden gem is Yosemite RV Park and Family Lodging.
What do they have there?
Oh, they have a lot of fun things. Such as many different ways to stay. So it's a campground located pretty close to Yosemite Park.
Nice.
But they don't offer just like normal tent and RV sites. They also have, on top of that, they have cabins,
Nice.
fully furnished yurts.
Does anybody know what a yurt is?
I do.
What's a yurt, Nicole?
A yurt, it's like a tent, but it's got, I don't know, it's round. Okay, do you know what a yurt is? Because that's how
I know what it is. I'm testing you.
Okay, how about you explain it? You're probably better.
No, it's okay. Go ahead. Let's see what you got.
It's a round sleeping establishment.
Okay.
And it's like a tent, but it's like a thicker cloth, and it's stable. It doesn't move.
This is going well.
Is it? Okay, you give us yours.
No, go ahead. This is going great.
Okay, and it's got like, usually like a big bed inside, and it's got. Okay, we're just gonna move on from that. That's cool. They call that a glamping experience, though. Would you say that's glamping?
In a yurt?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice. It's definitely better than a tent because you
Potentially.
usually have like cots and all that kind of stuff in there. So you're
Okay.
up off the ground. You're not sleeping on rocks.
Cool. Well, that's good. So also they also have, which really attracted me to this hidden gem.
Glim.
Hidden glim. That's like glamping. Is they have wagons that you can stay inside of.
What kind of wagons? Like a radio flyer?
No, that would be even cooler. These are like from the Oregon Trail wagons.
Camping in a radio flyer would be even cooler.
Can you imagine if it was like a giant one? You get to like
Let's
lay
do a
up.
poll. Who thinks that camping in a radio flyer would be enjoyable?
Okay, I just like things that are different, so that'd be a cool experience. You'd be like, "Have you ever done it?" No, I have.
So it's like camping in a covered wagon, huh?
Yes, so just like the wagons you remember from like Oregon Trail, the game,
Or Oregon Trail, the real thing.
the real life.
Like history.
Not everybody remembers that. We were
This is-
all around back then.
This is going so well.
It is 1:00 in the morning, so that's cool.
What else do they have?
But yeah, so that's pretty cool. Inside, they have two different ones. They have one that sleeps four, and it has like a king size bed, a little table, and then one bunk bed.
Nice.
And then they have a bigger one that sleeps six, and it has a king bed and then two bunks. And they're air conditioned, which that's amazing, huh?
Well, that's not very old timey. I don't think people going on the Oregon Trail got air conditioning.
See, we're doing it the right way for them.
In the game, didn't everybody die of dysentery or something?
Yeah, I hope
Wasn't
that
that the thing everybody died of?
you have to pay a little extra not to do that here.
No dysentery today.
That's right. And then they also have like classic Airstream style trailers and then retro trailers that you can rent out too,
Love Airstreams.
which I think that's really cool. And they have little decks off of the side of them too that look pretty awesome.
They have decks off the wagons?
Off of no,
Off the Airstreams?
yeah,
Okay, that makes a little more sense.
yeah.
Okay.
So that'd be really cool, huh?
I like it. Do you have any idea how much it costs? Is it expensive?
So the wagons start at like $197 a night, so a little higher than
It's a little salty.
yeah, a little bit. But who else can say they've spent the night in a wagon?
Not me.
See, there you go. And then they also have a petting zoo, which I thought was kind of cool.
What,
Like-
does it say what kind of animals they got?
Yeah, they have like sheep and llamas and camels and horses.
Camels?
Yeah.
Interesting.
See? Lots of cool things. They also have like a bocce ball court, swimming pool,
Oh, I love bocce.
volleyball, all the normal things. And then they're only 22 miles from the park entrance. So
Very nice.
pretty
Is this
close.
new? Did they just open up, or is this something that's been around?
No, it's been around, but the yurts are new and the wagons are new. So
Very nice.
yeah, something cool.
All right. That's today's hidden gem.